Behind a hidden waterfall in Ithilien, one man held the fate of the world in his hands, a weary hobbit, a secret outpost, and the one ring within easy reach. He had every reason to seize it for his besieged city, and instead he let it walk back into the dark. This is the Faramir of Tolkien's page, and why his refusal is the quiet hinge of the whole War of the Ring. In the white city of Minas Tirith, beneath the throne that no king had claimed for near 1,000 years, ruled the stewards of Gondor. When the line of kings failed, these hereditary lords governed in the king's absence, each sworn to yield his rule should an heir of Elendil return. Into this proud and burdened house was born Faramir, the younger son of Denethor II, ruling steward of Gondor. His elder brother was Boromir, a man of great strength and valor, bred to arms and the tales of old battles. In Faramir, the blood of Númenor ran true, the high Dunedain lineage of Westernesse, long of life and grave of mind. Yet he was a man of lore as much as of war, gentle in speech and clear of sight, who could read the hearts of men. He loved the wisdom of old days, the songs and histories of Gondor's long memory. To be the younger son of such a house was to inherit its weight of vigilance and care. Long before any errand or peril touched his life, Faramir stood already shaped, a captain of the South, an heir of a noble and failing line. Long before the ring left the Shire, a dream came stealing into the night watches of Minas Tirith. A pale light grew in the west, a voice spoke out of the gathering dark, and amid thunder words fell like a chant. Seek for the sword that was broken, in Imladris it dwells, for Isildur's bane shall waken, and the halfling forth shall stand. To Faramir, the younger son, this dream came first, and came again and yet again, troubling his rest before it ever touched his brother. Once only did it visit Boromir. Yet when the brothers brought the riddle to their father Denethor, it was Boromir who claimed the errand north, for the road to Rivendell was long and perilous, and he would not see Faramir hazard it. So the elder went, and the younger stayed, and 110 days the journey took. The wrong brother walked to the council of Elrond, a thing Frodo would learn only later. In a hidden place in Ithilien, when Faramir himself first spoke of the dream that should have been his own road. In Ithilien, the fairest of Gondor's lost provinces, green yet clung to the hills though the shadow loomed across the river. Among its groves and tumbling streams ranged the gray-clad rangers of Gondor, and here Faramir led them, harrying the Haradrim who marched at Sauron's call. A campfire's thread of smoke betrayed two small wayfarers. Taking them for spies, the rangers waylaid Frodo and Sam, while their third companion slipped unseen into the dark. Faramir questioned Frodo of his errand, and the hobbit spoke of the fellowship and its long road, yet kept back the heart of his tale. Bound to bring no strangers to his soldiers' hidden eyes, Faramir blindfolded the captives and led them by secret paths to Henneth Anun, the window of the sunset. It was a refuge cut into living rock behind a shimmering curtain of falling water, where lamplight glimmered through the spray. There, in the roar of the cascade, he drew them out further, gently and without threat, and piece by piece perceived that their burden was bound up with Isildur's bane. The captain of Gondor had begun to understand what manner of thing his captives bore. And now we come to the moment that makes the man. When at last the truth slipped free, that the small wayfarer of the Shire carried upon him Isildur's bane itself, every captain of the West might have reached out his hand to seize it. Here was the weapon of the enemy, offered as if by fortune into the keeping of Gondor's son in her darkest hour. Sam, fearing all was lost, cried out in challenge. Yet Faramir did not falter. "But fear no more," he said. He gave his word, freely and unbidden. Not if he found it lying by the highway would he take this thing. Not were Minas Tirith itself falling into ruin, and he alone could save her by its power. He would not touch it. In a single breath he set himself against the desire that had broken stronger men. This is the oath of refusal, the quiet, deliberate no that defines Faramir forever and marks him true. Two sons of Denethor, born 5 years apart, and between them, no rivalry but great love. For Boromir had been the helper and protector of Faramir since childhood. Yet they were not alike. Boromir was a man of arms, valorous, proud like his father in face and temper, caring little for lore save the tales of old battles. Faramir loved music and wisdom, and sat at the feet of Gandalf. And for this, the steward Denethor held him the lesser son. The father's love fell upon the elder, and the younger bore it without bitterness. When the selfsame test fell upon each brother, the answer differed. At Amon Hen, far in the wild, desire for the weapon overmastered Boromir, and he reached out to seize it from the halfling and so was broken. Faramir, given the same chance, looked upon the thing and let it pass. Where one grasped, the other opened his hand. The stronger brother fell to the ring's whisper, the gentler stood. And so the favored son proved the more easily mastered, and the slighted son the more steadfast, a bitter lesson for the house of the stewards. And so we come to the mending. Born from the pyre that despair had kindled, Faramir lay wrapped in the shadow of the Black Breath, nearer death than waking, until the hands of the king recalled him. In the houses of healing, he rose slowly toward life. And there, walking the walls above the city, he found Eowyn of Rohan, herself wounded and grieving. Two sorrows turned to one hope. The White Lady and the captain of Gondor were betrothed in the Garden of Healing. When Aragorn came at last to be crowned, it was Faramir, last of the ruling stewards, who yielded up his white rod and named the king, then received it again, for Elessar renewed his house as steward and counselor. And more, he made Faramir prince of Ithilien, to dwell in the green hills of Emin Arnon and guard the eastern marches. Here the films fall silent. Jackson's theatrical tale grants him no recovery, no Eowyn, no princedom. His story simply ends in shadow at Osgiliath. Tolkien gave his quiet captain a crown of his own, love, lordship, and long years of peace. Faramir never wields a sword against the ring. His victory is the war he wins inside himself, in a cave behind a waterfall where no one would ever have known the difference. Tolkien himself once wrote that of all his characters, Faramir was the one most like him. If you'd like more quiet corners of Middle-earth brought into the light, consider subscribing. There is always another tale beneath the page.